All right, we're here with the Scary Alvarez Podcast. I know all these young recruits just love "Build Me Up Buttercup" by the Foundation. It's probably one of your favorite bands on your playlist, Spotify, Mason, huh?
Yeah, probably. I actually love old time music, but yeah, no, I'm more of an AC/DC type of guy.
Oh, I love that. We'll
Yeah.
get into that in a second. Well, anyway, welcome to the Scary Alvarez Podcast, which has lasted almost as long as Gail Bedecker did on Breaking Bad before Jesse Pinkman visited his apartment. That's a Breaking Bad reference, and it won't be my
Yeah.
last one today, Mason. You know you're ready for that.
Actually,
I'm of
I've never watched Breaking Bad, which is crazy. Never watched
never.
it.
Okay, my goodness. Okay, well, we're gonna have to work this. I'll have Jake Ferguson, my grandson, reach out to you, and you guys can talk about that. I know he loves that show.
All right.
I'm of course Scary Alvarez, the king of Wisconsin Badger Twitter. Wine Allen Enjoyer, Cherry Wine Destroyer, Jake's grandpa, and Cindy's plus one when she'll have me. And we're very excited to welcome our first 2025 Badger football recruit, Mason Posa of Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's a consensus four-star linebacker, the number one player in New Mexico, and has offers from all coasts of this country. Mason, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Happy to, happy to. I'm talking to you from 22,000 feet from my G6 right now, so I hope we stay in.
All right.
Tell, yeah, sure thing. Tell my audience a little bit about yourself and your football journey. Of course, we're going to get into a lot of specific stuff, but just I hand you the floor now and take it away.
Well, my name is Mason Posa from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was born in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I moved to Oklahoma when I was about like 2 months old because my auntie was dying from cancer. And so I lived there for about 5 years. And then when I was 5 years old, I moved back to New Mexico. Currently living in Albuquerque right now. I've been here since 2011, 2012, something like that. But yeah, and really I started playing football in second grade and wrestling too in second grade. I do wrestling and football, obviously. But also, yeah, I mean, I've just been playing both those sports in second grade, really, and just I really built my love with football just over the years. And just my dad, he coaches at our high school. He's the defensive line coach, and he's also the head wrestling coach at La Cueva. Um, and like I've been around the sport. I mean, ever since I was born, and I mean, that's all you really need to know about me. I love football.
Well, that's great. Yeah, and I mean, of course, this is our first time, meeting, albeit, over the electronic waves here. But everything that I have heard from scouts and recruiting experts and people of that nature about you is, not specific, things you do, but just more generally related to your work ethic and your love of football. And those two things are why I felt, probably were part of why you connected so well with Coach Vic.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I really felt the connection when I first met him. I mean, also, and then like I didn't even know he wrestled until my dad was telling me that. But yeah, I didn't really know that, and we also share a huge bond with that too. Just we talk about wrestling nonstop. I mean, he knows I'm not graduating early, and he knows I'm gonna go win my fourth state title, and he's like super happy for that. And yeah, me and Coach Fickle have a really good bond.
That's awesome to hear. And I just to back it up a little bit, did I hear you say you're going for your fourth state title? So you've won. You basically, like, you're a rising senior. Obviously, you've won state titles your first 3 years.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I won my freshman year. I won one at 160, and then my sophomore year, I wrestled 189 and I won that. And then this year I wrestled 215. And then this following year, my senior year, I think I'm wrestling heavyweight because our heavyweight is graduating early. He was a state champion too. But yeah, he's graduating early, so I might have to fill in that role.
So what's a just I have a little wrestling in my background, of course, too. But what is a heavyweight considered as far as weight class? I know it's the heaviest, but I mean, is that like a 225 or 230?
It's the heaviest is 285.
285.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, 285. Those are the guys you look across the mat. You're like, is that guy that can rip my arms off? Yeah. So I hope you don't come across any 285 guys, any
Yeah,
like
hopefully.
defensive tackle types.
Yeah, our heavyweight, he was he would always have to cut to get to heavyweight. He was like he'd weigh 300 pounds and he'd always have to cut to 285. But yeah, he was my workout partner, so I'm kind of used to like dealing with those big boys.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good because that's those beefy Big Ten offensive linemen and tight ends. You already that's something you're going to be handling soon enough. So it's good to have that strength and that agility, which I know wrestling obviously contributes a lot
Hmm.
to that for football players.
Yeah.
Um, so putting it kind of back towards football here. Let's start about with the meaty stuff. You had offers from a ton of big time schools. Alabama. That's Alabama, Oregon, uh, A&M, several others. What ultimately sold you on the Badgers?
Really, the coaching staff and the players. I mean, probably the players. What sold me? What sold me for them to be in my top three was the coaching staff and just Wisconsin, the town, and just like how Wisconsin is known for their linebackers and also that coaching staff producing so many linebackers. Coach Tressel has produced so many first round linebackers, and so has Coach Fick. And really, just what sold me, like for sure, like I need to commit now was just hanging out with the players and just being around them, and also my boy Luke Emmerich, he's the 3-star committed there, safe for safety. We were talking a lot, and I mean I'd love to be teammates with him, and he's such a cool guy, and just I really felt a connection with him and the rest of the 25 class.
Yeah, it seems like a good class with a bunch of kids from across the country. I mean, it's a bit not that they're not Wisconsin kids, but there was a time not so long ago where the majority of a given Wisconsin class was in-state kids. We still have that. I know that's important to Fick and his staff, but they've kind of expanded geographically. And I believe I don't know this for sure, but you can check my work on this. You might be the first New Mexico player ever to commit to the Badgers. That's we can
Yeah,
figure
I
that out.
yeah, I think so too. I mean, there's only been a handful of D1 athletes to go come out of New Mexico. I mean, we have two others this year. Mark Handy, my teammate, the heavyweight, he's committed to Minnesota, and my quarterback, he's Cam Dyer, he's committed to Arizona State. So us three are really just like the kind of like everyone kind of looks at, and just really are. I mean, the only D1 products this year and just from the following years.
Well, that's pretty impressive. You all must have a pretty impressive team to have that kind of that talent. Well, good. I mean that seems to make sense. And you said were there any current players that are on the Badgers right now that you made a connection with?
Tackett Curtis, him, Jake Chaney, really, really all the linebackers in the room. I mean, I got to hang out with them a lot. Robbie, the tight end, a lot of the offensive linemen, and Ernest, the freshman defensive lineman. Yeah, we hung out a lot and just like they're funny dudes, and I mean those are kids that I enjoy hanging out with, and I can see myself being on a team with them.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, there's a good sense of humor on the team, and you mentioned Madison, and you, you probably know you're from a very very warm state. Although I know it gets cold there sometimes, but you're visited Madison. Like I know you've been there a few times. Have you been there when it's cold, and also been there when it's warm, and kind of be able to see the seasons change?
I've only been there when it was warm. I mean, I went to the Rutgers game. That was pretty cold. But I mean, that kind of reminded me of New Mexico. It gets that cold. But I haven't been when it's been like snowing in the negatives though. So
Gotcha. Well, the winter is kind of its own animal. It's fun though, but the people, there's plenty of players from Texas and Florida and southern states, and they end up loving Madison. So I mean, it's just one of those things where maybe it's just a contrast. It's something new. Oh my God, there's snow. You can do stuff on snow. You can sled down a hill by the dorms. I mean, it's kind of a wild environment. And I know there's some snow in New Mexico, but probably not a ton of it, right? It's still kind of you have in the mountains.
yeah, and so I live pretty close near the mountain base. But yeah, we get a lot of snow. Not a lot. I mean, the mountains get a crap ton of snow, but like down
Gotcha.
here, we'll sometimes like I don't know. It's weird. This weather's pretty bipolar, but no, I like the snow. I like the cold. I mean, I like the cold better than the heat for sure.
Well, buddy, you're going to get your fill of it. It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Good time. You're going to pick up 7 new coats. It'll be great. Um, So, we got into your journey towards Madison and your commitment. Why should Badger fans be excited to see Mason Posa in 2025 and beyond?
I mean, I'm gonna bring like 110% of me. I'm gonna be a leader. I'm gonna work hard, and I want this. I want Wisconsin to be a national title or national champions. I mean, I want to win championships. That was one of my like lists of schools. Like, where can I win a national championship at? And I know I can win a national championship at Wisconsin. And I know like the recruiting class we have now. I know we're a bunch of hard workers, and we want to win. And that's I hate losing. I hate losing, even when it comes to board games or all of that. I hate losing, like with a passion. So I mean, they're gonna get a winner, they're going to get a hard hitter, and they're going to get a beast for sure.
That's great stuff. And I'm sure you've done your research and you know the history of Wisconsin linebackers. I mean, there were times in the 2010s. It was called LBU. I mean, they just were just producing pros right and left, and Herbig and just the list goes on and on. It's just a bunch of guys, and it was kind of wild. And we have some dogs in there now too, but
Yeah.
it's good to kind of reload and obviously when you come in the fall of 25, that room is still going to be loaded. You mentioned Tackett Curtis and some of these other guys. I mean, but I presume that competition is exciting to you, and part of having that challenge of having to compete for those snaps is part of what's appealing.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm not afraid of competition. I'll go anywhere. I think I could start here. I think I could start everywhere. That's just kind of the mindset I have. And the room, it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, linebackers are insane there. I think the best out of like the teams that have offered me, best by far. But yeah, I mean, I love competition, and it's going to be a battle for sure.
Yeah, and you see yourself. I mean, obviously, you don't have to. You have plenty of time before you walk on campus, but do you see yourself playing in the middle? You see yourself playing outside, just kind of line up all over the place. Is there sort of a thought you have coming in?
Well, they're going to line me up middle. I think. I think they're going to kind of use me the same way that I've been playing here. Go out in coverage. Blitz off the edge, just like how Jahil Thomas, how he plays, just how they use him. They said they're going to use me just like him. So I'm pretty excited, because I mean it just gives me like a lot of room to play, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. If you do a lot of things well, they'll let you do a lot of things well. I mean,
Hmm.
that seems to be a good fit
Yeah,
because I know true multidimensional linebackers they're gonna kind of squeeze that orange and see what you guys can do, and that's good. I'm glad to have that talk. And that you're talking about is that the transfer from Arkansas that came in this
yeah,
year?
yeah, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, he's a. I mean, the tape I've seen, obviously, the tape you see is highlight tapes. I didn't watch every snap of like the Vanderbilt game or something, but what I saw, I have a great feeling for his chances of success this fall for Wisconsin. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, he was looking really good in the spring game, or no,
Awesome.
spring practice. Yeah, sorry, my fault.
Yeah, yeah, you spring Graham. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it like we normally do because of the field. But next spring we'll get that tradition back, and we have a fun
Hmm.
time with that.
Yeah, yes,
So
sir.
so I watched your commitment ceremony last week, and my 76-year-old heart, which by the way looks like a 25-year-old's marathoners, briefly jumped to 70 beats per minute from my normal 45 when you put a Badger hat on, and then immediately took it off and set it down again. Are you trying to kill the Godfather? What happened there?
I mean, like, so when I committed on my visit, and I was like, I brought in the linebacker coach, all the recruiting guys, head coach. I talked to them, and I gave them the same heart attack. I told them I don't think Wisconsin's a good fit for me, all that. I wanted it to like look exciting, and just like have people's hearts drop. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of just, I don't know. I don't know what was going through my head, but I mean, I thought it'd be funny and thought it'd be pretty cool.
Well, they kept the offer, so I think that it seems like Fick and company were okay with that.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
they loved it. Max, the one of the recruiting guys, he said, "Mason, you can't give me any more heart attacks like that again."
so he's thinking like I was. No, that's good stuff. I think a lot of Wisconsin fans had heard, the same buzz that other people had heard for the recruiting quarters that there had been a silent commit. But it's still, until you make that announcement, it's not a sure thing. So that still was a lot of fun to watch. And I hope it was fun for you and your family to be able to do that.
Oh yeah, it was a blast. We had a great time.
Good say. So, how many times have you been to Madison? Did you say 3 times?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, sir, I like that. Um, what was your? I mean, obviously, besides like the guys or meeting the coaches, just the city itself. What was your favorite thing about Madison?
The lake, 100% the lake. I just love like I love the water, and I just the lake was like probably the best part, and just also like the Capitol building and just all the trees and all that. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I don't know what it's called. I forgot the name, but like it's where like it's like a street, but like you can't drive cars in it. It's just like
State Street.
yeah, State Street. That's a really
State
cool
Street.
place. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
as
like
and as
that.
many bars as they have on State Street, it's probably better that you can't drive a car on. There's probably all kinds of reasons why. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's good. And this is going to blow your mind, man. There's another lake just as big as Mendota, which is what you saw by the Union, just on the other side of the Capitol. So it's like I'm not sure if you saw the geography as you're flying in, but it's an isthmus where the downtown is kind of on this strip of land, and there's these two kind of big lakes on either side, and then there's a couple other lakes. So it's you can get all your if you're into outdoor recreation, you got your. I mean, oh man, you'd be able to play hockey on that same lake if you want
yeah,
to
no,
in the
yeah,
winter.
yeah. It's crazy. I can't skate at all, but I'd love to learn how.
So, changing gears here, you alluded to the fact that you had never watched Breaking Bad before.
Hmm.
Uh, just so you know, to give you to education on this, one of the characters is named Badger on that show.
Oh,
In
really?
what? Yeah, so that seems to be a little bit of a foreshadowing for your commitment. I know it's probably not what Vince Gilligan was thinking when he named. It just I think it's just kind of a funny little confluence. Of there's a now he wasn't a linebacker slash wrestling champion. Unfortunately, he was more of a meth dealer. But
Mm.
it's the name was still used. But it's a great show. I recommend it highly.
Yeah,
It's a
no,
it's a fun time.
I've been trying to get into it. I mean, it's on Netflix, but I just don't really have the time to start a TV series.
Yeah, I feel it. Um, One of the places that's sort of prominently featured on that show is something called the Dog House. Does that ring a bell to you? It's a
Doghouse.
hot dog joint.
No. Uh,
Okay. It has this neon sign with this kind of wiener dog, and it like has its tail moves. I'm not sure. It's kind of portrayed as like kind of a one of those trendy things in downtown Albuquerque. And then Better Call Saul actually has that too. But hey, man, you're just a busy you're a busy dude. You don't have time for that stuff.
no,
Love it.
I mean, I'd love to get into that show and just all that, but I'm really just kind of like sticking to like my area, Northeast Heights, and just kind of like work out and chill.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So it may seem again like a long time in the future, but 2025 is it's gonna be here faster than you can blink. Which 2025 Badger game? You may not have even looked at the schedule, but I'm going to give you a preview.
Hmm.
Uh, are you most looking forward to? We got at Alabama, at Oregon, at Michigan, home to Ohio State, home to Middle Tennessee State, and any of those pop out at you?
Alabama for sure. Alabama, that's crazy. Tuscaloosa, it's SEC. It's I mean, I feel like Wisconsin's gonna do their job this year when they come up here, and it's gonna be a good game. And I feel like when we go down there, it's gonna be a great game down there too, and just also playing in the big house. Or is it at Michigan, or is it Michigan coming to
Yeah,
us?
it's possible I misread this, but I think it's at Michigan.
Yeah.
You get the Buckeyes at home.
Okay. Yeah. The big house. That's crazy. So like it was a guy that used to play high school here a while ago. His name's Zach Gentry. He played at Michigan, and I work out with him, and he just tells me like the big house is crazy, and just Big Ten is wild. So I'm really excited for that. And Ohio State. My friend's an Ohio State fan, and we used to go back and forth all the time about Ohio State. So I don't really like Ohio State, but I mean that's gonna be a good
That's a healthy attitude, Mason. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, it's just and one thing that should be obvious to anyone, especially Badger fans, but it's maybe the recruits who have followed the program is just how much better, and by better I mean more competitive, more interesting, the schedule has gotten for the Badgers. Not that they shied away from playing Big Ten teams, but kind of playing in the Big Ten West, you'd have your rival games. And Iowa was no shrinking violet. I mean, some of these teams are good teams in their own right, but a schedule with Oregon, Alabama, Ohio State, and Michigan, that is comparable or more or perhaps even more difficult than the most difficult SEC schedule. So
Oh,
you're not getting those November games against FCS teams, but so I think that's going to be incredibly fun, especially since the team will be coming along even further in its. I mean, it's not a rebuild, but just getting stronger and stronger under Fickle. I think that 25 season is going to be a lot of fun.
yeah, it is. I'm excited, and it's going to be fun.
So, are there any nicknames you have that you're willing to share here?
I mean, usually people just call me Posa. Really, my friends kind of like switch my M and P around, Pace and Mosa, But I don't really have any nicknames. My initials are MJP, and I'm shocked no one's really called me MJ, which I think that would be really cool. But no, I just stick to either Mason or Posa.
Okay, you play basketball at all?
I used to, yeah. I have a pretty good jump shot, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. I know. There's a pretty good hoops team at Wisconsin that's sometimes on the lookout for guys who can grab boards. And I'm not suggesting Greg Gard's recruiting you. I'm just saying, if nothing else, those are fun games to go to.
Yeah.
You watch hockey ever?
No, but no. I mean, hockey looks fun. I like the fighting and stuff like that. That looks pretty cool. But
Yeah, college is a little bit less focused on the fighting stuff, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your thing. But Wisconsin has an absolutely elite blue blood women's program, and the men's program is actually coming along really well too. And we're ranked number one for a portion of the season under their new coach Hastings. So if you have any opportunity, if you're up on a visit or something, I'm not sure if you're coming up in the winter, but if you can get out to a hockey game, that's it's especially for someone who's into not saying into violence, but like likes hitting, and it's a different kind of sport. It's like kind of like lacrosse and football on skates.
yeah,
It's just a lot of fun.
yeah, no, yeah. I'd love to go up for a game and stuff like that. I'd be sick.
If you have one, who's your favorite ex Wisconsin football player? Or not ex? They're never exes, but someone who has gone through the Badgers and is not in the team anymore.
Mm, Probably JT Jonathan Taylor or TJ Watt.
Okay, those are two good ones. And TJ, just one of the elite defensive players in the NFL, and just got it done. And you can honestly watch his tape at Wisconsin; he was doing it there too.
Yeah.
And Taylor, I mean, he'd be a tricky guy to tackle, right? I
Mm,
imagine for someone who's into tackling. I mean, he's so elusive, and it's great seeing both of them have great success in the NFL.
yeah. Yes, sir.
So, have you ever heard of something called Squat Fest?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll let the coaching staff sort of get that one to you, but I'll give you a hint. It's sort of a competition that they have relating to squats, and it's sort of a team building camaraderie thing that I think you'll. I guess you probably won't do this again until not sure what they usually do it in the spring or early summer. So I think Squat Fest is coming up right now. But check out YouTube. There'll be stuff for it. But these guys are just busting crazy squats, and all the guys are kind of like cheering them on, or if they want to do better, they're talking smack to them and stuff. It's pretty wild. But it's
Yeah,
all comes to thing.
yeah. What's his name? Braylon Allen, right? He
Yeah, he did a few pounds. Yeah,
Yeah, he had that mask on and stuff like that while he was squatting, right?
yeah,
Is it the same
yeah.
thing? Yeah, yeah. No, that looks pretty cool. I saw that. I think it was a long time. I don't know when I saw that, but
A couple of
yeah,
years ago, might have been. Yeah, yeah, and it's great. And Braylon, he's obviously going to have a good NFL career, the Jets and beyond. But the fact that I'd stride in there and throw 900 on it and just do it with ease. I know a lot of them were feeling jealous of me, but it's fine. I mean, I'm not trying to talk smack. It is what it is. No one's shocked. Okay, we're kind of on descent here. We do something that's a word association game where I say a word or a name, and I want to get what immediately comes to your mind. So don't do any sort of long thought out thesis. Just kind of spit out what comes to your mind when you hear these names. All
okay,
right.
all right,
Okay. Jump around.
amazing or insane.
Jake Ferguson.
He's the tight end, right?
Oh, he is. He is the tight end.
Yeah.
Jake. Let me give you a hint. He's related to me. He's my grandson.
Oh.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah, he is. He is. And actually, people think I'm playing favorites, but the reality is Jake has become, in only 2 years in the NFL, truly one of the ascending talents at the tight end position in all the league. I mean, that's the Green Bay Packers. I know the Packers, took it to him in the playoffs last year. I'm not sure if you watched that game, but Jake was the only Cowboy that came to play that day and had 3 touchdowns against his. I'll just say it, his team he loved growing up, the Packers.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach Mike Tressel.
Mm. Oh, I can't even think. A beast.
Yeah, he'll like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth it to take a couple seconds and clear your head and come up with the right word.
Yeah.
I think you did there.
Yeah.
And PJ Fleck.
Mm.
It's funnier if you don't know who it is, but it's fine if you do. That's fine.
Yeah. I don't think I know who that is.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it. Well, you got a buddy going up to play Minnesota. You can
Yeah.
ask.
No, that's the head coach, right? Yeah. I know.
Well, yeah. I mean, yes, he is. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of a rivalry there between the Badgers and Gophers called the Axe. You'll be holding that axe after the game for at least 3 years at
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
No, me
So
and
get used to that.
buddy are already talking crap about our rivalry already. But yeah, no, it's yeah, I'm excited playing that game. That game's gonna be
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. The crazy thing is, I'm not baiting you to say something here to get yourself in trouble with the coaches, but I can say it. Um, Fleck has beaten Wisconsin 3 out of 7 times as a Gopher and 3 out of 8 times overall. And he would be on the Mount Rushmore of Minnesota coaches for having done that with a losing record. I mean, that's how the standards are different between these two programs,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. So, but anyway, I can go on about that forever.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, we're gonna let Mason. Thanks again for jumping on. We're gonna let you off here in a couple minutes. I need you to rank 3 things for me. I'm gonna say you got to rank these things from one being the one that's the best or most important, and 3 being the thing that's the least important. You're not saying that's not any are bad, but you have to rank them.
Mm-hmm.
One, a free lifetime meal pass to the Madison restaurant of your choice. This is beyond college. This is just you can pop in there whenever.
Mm-hmm.
2, making the college football playoff in 2025, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, being on this podcast right now. Think carefully. I know it's hard.
I'll put the podcast on one, and I'll put the college. Yeah.
I like this guy. You're number one. Yeah, there were some basketball kids I had on last year, and 2 of the 3 said the podcast, and those 2, obviously curried a bunch of favor with the Dawn. Okay, so podcast at 1, and then you got the college football playoff in 2025, and you got the free lifetime pass to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Which one are you going with on the 2 line?
The 2 is the college football playoff, and then
Yeah, there you go. This is perfect. You got a 100%, buddy.
Yeah.
you nailed this one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good, Mason. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. Congratulations again on your commitment to the Badgers. I know those coaches, fans, and future teammates are all looking forward to getting you up in Madison. But in the meantime, good luck with your summer, your senior year down there in Albuquerque. Hope everything goes awesome with football and wrestling, and don't be a stranger.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You take care, man.
All right, you too.